Good day, my name is Sergey. I'm 41 years old. In this appeal, I intend to offer the exit option created at me against neurosis, psychosis, depressions, panic attacks, which can be complicated also physiologically. In my case, there were following: obsessive compulsive neurosis, deep depression, panic attacks, vascular dystonia. When it happened to me, I was just shocked. Why it happened to me? Now I understand. That condition is lesson to me. And there is no evil without good. When you find way out of that negative situation, you understand that you don't want there again. And there is already a benefit because you there already were, as it was told in the famous movie Matrix. And you already apply the saved up knowledge base and experience for purpose. It will not happen anymore. Perhaps what I offer is acceptable in same as was at me or similar situations, though possibly it is applicable also with broad range. I am not a professional psychologist, but I believe that I have some right to state approach of an exit from negative mental situations, as I myself had passed through it, having tested on the skin. There is a wish to help people with such illnesses. As far as I believe, conditions of mental diseases are considered and felt as heavier than physical illnesses. Unfortunately, in the above described states, it can be hardly even just to listen to the offered information. It means to listen in general. But this does not deprive of its importance. Generally, cause of an exit from such negative provision stands for suffering person, for his choice. But there is big benefit if someone from his friends, relatives, will get acquainted with the material stated here and will try to spend step by step the patient on the way of improvement. It should be noted, if there is a desire, suffering human being himself can collect the strength, having listened offered information, and to move to a normal state. It is known that from a position of Vedic literature, in our material world, three gunas are considered: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Those who are unfamiliar with this matter can examine, for example, on the internet, conditions of neurosis, psychosis, panic attacks, and depressions concern to the lowest guna of ignorance. The task consists in living from under influence of this destructive energy and to get under influence of high ones. At run out of control of ignorance guna, it is important to understand that it is not necessary to be fond of drugs of an artificial origin excessively, and to apply only in necessary quantity, reducing whenever possible to a minimum. Further, it's good to refuse and pass in general from them to natural drugs, for example, of the Ayurvedic, Tibetan, Chinese directions of medicine. Following the guna of ignorance is high guna of passion. The passion is an activity. That is, it is necessary to begin to be engaged in something, to do something, for a start something simple. But even it can be extremely difficult. At this stage it is necessary to force one's own self. The main thing is not to hurry waiting for a result of relief and not to reach extremes in order to avoid the movement to the opposite side. In cases of strong exhaustion, severe headaches, it is necessary to do breaks. In general, it is very important to observe a work rest schedule, of course. Besides, it is necessary to increase the level of own constructive power. For this purpose, it is possible to be engaged, for example, in such powerful practice as a Qigong. Who isn't familiar about a Qigong can get acquainted with it also, for example, on the internet. The Qigong can give help in the decision and physiological problems. I consider for a start to use the successful sets of exercises offered by Lee Holden. It is possible to study information concerning it also on the internet, in particular on YouTube. This master adopted a Qigong for a modern way of life. At the first stage and in general, reality transurfing of Vadim Zeland can render psychological assistance. For example, in my case, this literature has made decisive influence. These books are capable to tear off the sick person from hopelessness and to help him to look at life and at the world from the new light side. However, some figures of the spiritual directions criticize these books, but in my opinion it is possible to trust in this literature, as with its help I managed to get out of that serious mental condition in which I had been and already believed that everything is gloomy. Besides, it is possible to answer critics that in reality transurfing is allocated to reality awakening of own essence, soul, and connection in the help to the soul of own mind for creation of big force, and that is necessary to begin with something. The following link of improvement is establishment of the purpose of own soul. I am soul, and the way to this purpose. This matter is beautifully described in reality transurfing. Because of it, when awareness of the movement comes, the constant joy exactly at present appears. Tenacity of purpose itself gives also huge development of own power level. The consolidation of improvement result it is necessary to move to further progress. Clarification, return to one's own self, development of goodness, joy due to gradual development of harmony. Otherwise, there is a risk the passion tends to turn without progress into ignorance again. It is also necessary to understand that the earlier positive mood will be possible to connect, the better. Then life will be filled with that positive, and it also the powerful conductor of an increasing amount of constructive energy. At the level of inclusion in own life of goodness elements, it is good to find positive creative communication with the people conducting such positive life. It can occur as if by itself an external environment will begin to satisfy the inner attitude. But for this purpose, relying on knowledge of reality transurfing, it is required after all, if I correctly remembered the phrase, to move legs in this direction. It has to occur naturally and unobtrusively.